Hey guys, and today I'm going to run you through how you can vibe code using Firebase, no code using N18, and connect the two tools together to create a proposal generator that is completely custom to your clients with your clients' branding and things like that. This allows you to sell the proposal generator and other tools for substantially more money than you would be able to if it was just built within N18. So if that sounds like something you'll be interested in, then be sure to stick around. So the cool thing about this is that you can create a Firebase and an application interface for your proposal generator with, or any automation with the same amount of effort, essentially. So I'm going to run through a quick demo of how this works. I'm going to run this flow here, head into Firebase, go here, I've created a flow, got the branding there. I'm going to go Seb Gardner, name there. Company name SwiftClick, outcome of the call, 1 sentence description. SwiftClick is an automation company that sells custom automations B2B. Right now they manually writing and customizing cold emails plus enrichment of lead generation. They don't like this because it is very time consuming and restricting their growth. What's your solution? Create a automated lead gen and lead enrichment system, as well as plugging that data into AI to generate custom emails and plug into instantly AI. Platform services, N18.io. N18's, I'm pretty sure N18 stands for Nodemation or something, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that before. And once you've filled out all this data, you'll click submit. We've even got a trademark down here. You can imagine with a lot more time and effort put into design, as opposed to my lazy ass did. You can make this look pretty cool. Okay, so there we go, the proposal was created. We've got Seb Gardner proposal there, a link to the proposal. You can see here, everything in blue has been generated custom by AI, and literally, what was that, 15 seconds, if that. We can view the ClickUp task here. I'm using ClickUp as my CRM, so I can view the lead within ClickUp. And then we can see the generated on date, 27 April 2025. It's 27th April, it's good. And then we got the email extracted from ClickUp, and the ClickUp task where all the information is. So yeah, this is pretty cool, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how you can build this yourself. Okay, so to build this out, we're gonna be using N18 and Firebase. And if you haven't already, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be using my old proposal generator using Typeform. And I'm going to use the core of this and just replace some things here and there. You can get this exact file, this exact template from my first video of the proposal generator. You'll be able to look in the description and find the file there and go ahead and download it. I'll also attach it below in the description of this video so you can go ahead and download it. But what I'm actually going to do first, I think what I want to do is go to Firebase and create the interface before connecting to here. So first what we want to do is go to Firebase Studio. There it was, Studio. Head in here, it's completely free. This is 100% free, as opposed to Lovable. This is in preview. It's not quite as established as Lovable yet, but yeah, it's completely free. So then go try Firebase Studio. You'll need to create an account if you haven't already. You can see I've been testing a bit out with this proposal generator. I've also created a prompt, so I'm going to copy and paste this in. This just basically says create a good looking interface. Let's immerse high quality dark mode form that when filled sends data to this webhook. This webhook, it shouldn't be this webhook. We'll have to update this webhook. So what I'm going to do is go back to N18, zoom in, delete this typeform trigger because the trigger isn't going to be from typeform anymore. Oh, don't know why that's all the way over there. Then what I'm going to do is click first step, search in webhook. Click on this webhook with the lightning bolt, and then just copy this. I think we will keep it for the test URL now. Yeah, we'll keep it test. So then you'll want to copy this test webhook, paste in here to this get webhook. This is used for salespeople. Here are the questions to the form. First name, last name, email, company name, outcome of the call, one sentence description, what's your problem, what's your solution, platforms you'll be using, how long will it take, how much do you want to charge, any additional costs for the platforms, interface linked to the generator with a link to the generated proposal and time it was generated. I think I want it in the day, month, year, I guess. That's just the format of the date I want to use. There should be room. There should be room for many of these, and the dashboard-like interface should be separate from the form interface. So like a two pages that the user can navigate to. I think this is all okay. Let's prototype with AI. Or is that what it said? Yeah. So one thing I've noticed in Firebase Studio as opposed to Lovable is that it's a lot worse at generating the user interface or the design of the app. I'm actually going to click here and rename the app. That'd be Flow Proposal Generator. Oh. And then click save there. So it's a little bit different to Lovable, but yeah, it's Firebase Studio at the moment is a lot worse at generating the design. So you have to tweak and talk with it a lot more to come up with a good design, really. And once this has happened, click prototype this app. It's going to take a second or two to generate. And yeah, it's just Firebase Studio. It struggles a bit with the design. So it's going to take a second or two to generate. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if it did a good job. I don't think once it's done a good job for me first go. I've always had to tweak it. Okay, this is weird. Says its first prototype's ready. I can not see the... What if we click here to see it in a new tab? I cannot see the app. It is in an screen. Not see the app, it is in an infinite loading screen. Let's see what happens. I believe this is only, like, this came out a month ago, so it's not super accurate at the moment in what it does. I still cannot see the screen. Okay, this is weird. Let's go up here and go restart app, see if that does anything. All I see is a loading bar. Here we go. Okay. So if we look at this in a new tab, we can click open a new window. Okay, so this isn't too bad. We've got all the questions here, the first name, last name, email address, company name, what was the outcome of the call? Is this multi-choice? Okay, so we'll want to adjust that to be so you can only select one. One sentence description, what's your problem, your solution, platforms you'll be using, how much do you want to charge them, any additional costs? Okay, and submit. So now let's see, we can see if this connection works, but one thing I can see is that it doesn't have a second page. I'd like to have a button to go to a second page, but for now what I want to do is test this webhook. So we've pasted that webhook URL in the description. Where is the webhook? What is it doing all the way over here? So I've pasted this link here, this get link, into the prompt for Firebase. So let's see if it did work. So command enter to run this. And then I'm going to fill out this form just to make sure. Just make sure everything is working, because sometimes it doesn't connect straight away. I'm just gonna this. What's the problem? I'll take 4 weeks. How much do we want to charge? 10,000. 10. Let's see if this works. This is a number. Okay, that's weird. This is a number. Okay, so what I'm gonna say, can you make these 2 questions instead of number fields? Can you make these 2 questions text fields? Text fields. Just because there's no real reason it needs to be a number field, because N18 is going to be handling it all on the back end, and it's going to ultimately be going into a Google Doc, so it doesn't really matter what format it's in. And this should fix it. So if we reload this page, let's enter this again. Here we go, proposal sent, short description. This is their problem. Solution. How long will it take? 3 weeks. How much do you want to charge? 10. Okay, fingers crossed this works. Let's make sure this is still running. There we go. Webhook failed with status 404. Okay. The webhook isn't working. Says status 404. Remember that this is, cannot spell, that this is the webhook in a GET request. Sometimes it forgets that this isn't a GET request, or doesn't know, because as you can see here in the HTTP method, it has multiple different methods that this webhook could use. Sometimes it'll assume it's another one, like post, for example. In this case I have GET, so I just want to specify that. And tell Firebase that it is a GET request for this webhook. So we're going to see if this fixes itself. Failed with status 404. Okay, so let's see if this works now. Reload this page. Last name, email address, outcome of call. Oh. Yeah, this is their problem. Their solution. Call. 1010. Okay. Let's run this now. Okay, so it does have a dashboard. Interesting. And here we can see this successfully catched that webhook. Let's see if it has all the data from the form we filled out. Here we go, all the data, all of the answers, which is great. So now we can use all those answers to generate the proposal. So we can automatically plug this in here. And now what we need to do is replace all the dynamic values that were from the typeform node to the webhook node. And the answers that were filled out in the form we just created. So this was from the typeform. What does this need to be? What was the outcome of the call? So what was the outcome of call right here? Drag and drop that in there. And we want to make sure that is proposal sent. And then I'm going to delete this. Well, this will be error anyway, because these dynamic variables are different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this out again, except in this interface, just so I can get all that data for me to be able to map. And so I don't have to map it manually. Let's just do that. 3010, submit proposal. Oh, we need to run this. Oops. Let's submit now. There we go. Okay, this did work. Let's see, where's the dynamic variables? Yeah, here we go. These are all in red. These should all be in green. So let's replace these. Drop down this, find the questions. Business description first. So let's delete this. Business description, drag and drop. Problem. Delete, where's the problem? Problem description, drag and drop. What's this? Solution, delete that. Where's the solution? Solution description, drag and drop. Oh, why is this going down? Tools. Platform services, they named it a little bit different, but we can drag and drop that in there as well. Okay, and that's all we'll need to do in here. You guys will have access to all these prompts. Just make sure these are all green. Perfect. Okay, something in here will be red. Okay, what's this? The rough timetable, or I assume that's a timeline. I'm not sure why I named that timetable. Yeah. Rough timetable. Interesting. Anyway, we'll drag and drop the timeline in there, or the project time that we think it's going to take, for the amount of time we think it's going to take. Command S to save on Mac. And there'll be some other things we need to map, and the way I'm going to map this is I'm going to delete these connections, connect to this in, and then this way I can map the information. So this is the first name and last name we're mapping here. So if we go back down, we drop all these down. We got first name, so we got Seb, space, Gardner, proposal. There we go. Now I'm going to do this with all of these fields. I'm going to go here. JSON ID. Actually, that doesn't use any of this information. Drag over here. Replacing the placeholders. Let's wait for this to load. JSON ID will be fetched from the other Google Doc node, so not from the webhook. What's this? Typeform trigger. This will. This is the client company name, so if we drop all these down. The company name. Where is that? Company name here. Client first name. First name here. Sender company name. I'm actually going to delete these because these are already in the proposal template. Text, what's this one? Client last name. Drag and drop that in here. We got client company. What was this up here? Client project description. Client project description. That can stay. Client company name. We have two client company name. Client company name. Client company. I'm going to leave that for now. I'm not sure why we have two there. Anyway, we're going to go down here. Client milestone 1. That's generated from ChatGPT, so we can leave these milestones. Let's go down. Find and replace text. How much do you want to charge them? The project cost. We can replace all these. Project cost. Project cost again. Okay, and then this is where we divide it by 2 for the 50% upfront charge. Say we charge 3,000, we might charge 50% upfront, so that'd be $1,500 upfront. Or euro, or whatever you use. We got to do a bit of formatting for this, just to format it correctly for Google Docs. And the way we're going to do this is change this number into a string. So I'm going to do string. Also going to do number. I'm going to do project cost. 1 bracket there, and then divided by 2, and another closing bracket. The number just ensures, so first we're converting it to a string and then making sure it's a number. We're dividing this by a number because sometimes it won't divide it correctly if it's a string. I won't get too in depth into why that is. And then the second one down here is the same. So we can copy and paste that in there. And this should all be good now in this node. In18 just calls these square things nodes. Let's make sure this is all correct. CRM leads, meeting booked, interested. So this is just for my CRM. Every time I send a proposal to a new lead, I'll automatically move them down my pipeline. So some of you might have seen this before, but this is kind of what it looks like. Say someone has a status of maybe not send invoice, but interested, which is down the bottom for some reason. This should be at the top. Let's go meeting booked. I don't like the way this is. Let's go descending. Here we go. I like this better. So say someone's in the interested stage and then we send them a proposal. Their status will automatically be switched to proposal sent. And then it'll also have a link to the proposal within the description of their task, is what they call it in ClickUp. So it'll be like proposal link here. Link here. Oh, cannot spell today. Link here. And it'll be like this with the link to the proposal. And interested. I want to assign me That's what this does. It just switches the lead's status. And then get specific lead. We join this. It's getting a bit long now. Get this JSON name. So that's from the last node, the ClickUp node. And then here we need the first name and last name from the webhook. Right here is equal to the first name and the last name. Just like that. And do we need anything in here? That's from the Google Doc. It's a Google Doc ID. Cool. I think that's all. Now we can drag these all down. You can hold down Shift and then drag your your mouse to highlight multiple nodes and be able to edit them all at once. We'll move them around. And the last thing we'll want to do, which I won't do yet, but we'll want to add a respond to webhook node, which is when we'll provide Firebase with the link and possibly some other information to the proposal itself so it can display it within the application or the app. So now what I'm going to do is make sure this entire flow works. So I'm going to Command Enter and we're going to generate a new proposal. Create new proposal. I do want to change that. I want to have a button that, or in which we can navigate to both pages. This is the description. This is their problem. This is our solution. What platforms we use, make.com. How long will it take? 3 weeks, $3 grand, $10. Now let's submit this. See if this is running. Yep, it's running. Let's generate the proposal. It's generating the timelines. It's created the doc and it's not passed the filter. I've got Ross here. I've got 2 items. Let's see here, because there was a task. If we go back into here, there's a task called Seb Gardner. And it only got Ross, and there's also more. There's 4 tasks and it only got 2. Let's see. What's happened here? I'll drag this across. What's happened here? Where's the names? ID name Ross. And here's Seb Gardner. Huh. Seb Gardner, the only thing I can think is because this could be double spaced here. It looks like it might be double spaced. So if I click backspace there, maybe that was the issue. That's the only thing I can think of. But anyway, in the meantime, what we can do is we can view this proposal that's been generated. We can take the document ID, go on to this previously created proposal. And we can see here it's all been generated as expected. And then basically what we want to do is return this Google Doc, the link to this Google Doc, and put it into this, and be able to link it to this dashboard or this software here in Firebase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a respond to webhook node, and because it hasn't passed through these 2 nodes here yet, because there's something wrong with the filter, but I think it should resolve itself next time we run it. If I go to respond to webhook, and then I'm going to go to JSON, and then I'm going to go proposal link, and the value of this is going to be, I can actually take it from this ClickUp node because I know I have it in here. It's going to be this link, And this is the link expression. This is the link that Firebase will use. We could probably add some other information as well. Possibly. Thinking maybe we could also add the link to the ClickUp task, which should be here somewhere. We don't have to craft the link like we have here with the Google Doc. How we've just dynamically added the ID to the Google Doc here. We might have to do the same with a ClickUp task because it doesn't look like there's a ClickUp task here. Maybe this is it. Let me see if this is it. If I go here, paste this into a new browser, new tab. Okay, it is. Okay, cool. So we can just use this. And then you can say, what should we look? I'm just gonna say ClickUp. I'm just gonna say ClickUp task. This is maybe there. Okay, let's see if this works. And then we'll add this to the end of here. Connect this back together, connect that in there. Okay. And then back at the start, what we're going to do is head back into here. And then in the respond section, go respond using respond to webhook node. And that should be okay now. And I'm also going to tell, because I don't believe this is going to, I'll try it out, but I don't believe this is going to add the link to the proposal because I haven't told it to. Our solution, make.com, 1 month. Okay, we need to run this. Submit this. It might be waiting because we haven't been sent to a new page yet. It's okay, so it failed because this failed here. Background speech parameters from ClickUp. Item 114 does not exist. It might be with this. Let's look at here. It's meant to be, we want to change, okay, detail sent is not a status. So this should instead be proposal sent. That looks to be the issue. Proposal sent. Okay, this should resolve that issue. Let's run this again. Head back in here, go submit. It looks like it was waiting, which is a good sign. It's a good sign. Looks like it's waiting for this flow to finish. See if it works. Yep. Invalid JSON. Okay. What I'm going to do to save some time is I'm going to... I don't believe I've actually signed up to an account. Oh yeah, okay. Can you change this into valid JSON? This is a little bit cheating, but I want to keep this as short as possible for you guys. So I'll copy this over, paste it in here. Let's run this. Resubmit. Make sure this all works. It should work now. It's running, add that ClickUp task. Okay. We need to change the status because this is already in proposal sent. It cannot change it from proposal sent to proposal sent again. So I'm going to change this back down to meeting booked. I'm going to run this again. Create new proposal. Wait, in here. Okay, now it's going to be stuck, so let's reload this page. Let's submit this again. Description, this is the problem. This is the solution. Solution. Okay, let's see if this works. It's running through, generate the timelines, copying the proposal template, adding in all the information, and responded. Everything worked this time. Let's see what happened. Oh, it looks like view proposal. Okay, so it's all working functionally now, which is great. We've just plugged this webhook and this response webhook into the proposal generator flow in N8N, and now we're able to see this. But one thing I've noticed is that it only shows one. I want to have kind of a marketplace or database of all the proposals I've generated, and also this generated on doesn't show the actual date. But the good thing is that it's linking to the proposal. You can see there we've got our $10 we wanted to charge, and then this should be $3,000 of additional cost. Oh, I haven't mapped it out. I'd need to map that out. Okay, that'll be okay for now. We've got the generated timelines. Week 1, week 2 to 3, week 3, week 4. This is the solution. ChatGPT didn't even know what to write. We didn't give it enough information. Okay, so I think what we need to do now is improve this UI. And I think what we should start with is going back to this page and being able to have a button to navigate from the form to the dashboard. Okay, so cool. Everything works on the back end. Now wants to focus on the front end. Can you create a button to nice man, sleek looking buttons that allow the user to navigate from the form page to the dashboard, where the user can look at the proposals they have generated. Let's see what happens here. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, sometimes Firebase can struggle with good UI, so you have to be very specific in what you say. So this can sometimes take the longest, the design. Okay, so it's added the button at the bottom. Go to dashboard, and it did. Create new form. Okay, so I want to play around with this a little bit, and this is exactly what you can do as well. Just play around with it to find a nice design that you like, and yeah, I'll get back to you once I've finished with the design. Okay, so it's been a day, and I've played around with the design a little bit. If we click into here, I've kind of got this design, got a little trademark down there. Also got the logo. I'm going to show you guys how I put that logo in there because it's not super straightforward. And I got a little dashboard page here where you can view the proposals, view the ClickUp task for that lead, and also see the generated on. It actually looks a little different in here. I've got the name of the proposal, view ClickUp task, and view the generated on. I'm going to show you guys how I added this data, because you can add more data within the webhook response that returns data from N8N to Firebase to add the data into these proposals, add the links to the ClickUp task. If you click on this, you get sent to the task right there. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I think I'm going to add another email field in here. I think that could be useful. And then later down the line, you can imagine how with that email field, you could send the proposal, make a send button here somewhere to send the proposal manually if you don't send the proposals out automatically within this automation. For example, if you want to view the proposal before you send it, which is always what I do, so I'd add a send button here. But first, what I think I'm going to show you guys is how you can add a logo just like this into your application and ask Firebase how to do that, because it's not super straightforward. So the way I did it is I went to Google Drive and then uploaded my logo. And then what I did is click share and copy link. Make sure your access, by default it's restricted, but make sure it's anyone with link, and then copy this link over. I've also created a Google Doc for I've added 2 links here for how you need to format this link, because by default you can't just upload this link to Firebase and it will add your logo or the image into your application. You have to change the link a little bit to make it a direct file link. And how we do that is delete everything after this / after this ID. So view $USB equals sharing, delete that. And then over here, we want to delete file /d /. It's extremely important you don't touch any of this. This part here, this series of letters and numbers, is the file ID in Google Drive. But then once you've deleted all that, after drive.google.com / you want to add UC export equals view and ID equals. And what this does is it makes it the file directly accessible without having to go into Google Drive. So if we copy this and paste it into here, we're not going to be sent to Google Drive because it's a direct file link. As you can see here, we're not on the Google Drive interface at all, and this is what Firebase can use to put the logo into our application in Firebase. So if we copy this, we can go over to here. Can you add this logo in the top left of the app? Mine's going to stay the same, and then you'll paste it in here. I'd imagine it should stay the same size. It might get a little bit smaller, but it should stay the same because it's the exact same logo. So let's see what it does here. Yeah, it's stayed the exact same because it's the exact same link. Let's view this in a new tab. The logo is the exact same. But that's how you can add the logo to your applications, which, especially even if you sell these kind of tools to clients, it can be very appealing to them having their own logo within their apps and the things you develop for them, which is very minimal additional work for us as well. You can see here, even, I mean, I'm not a coder at all. I'm using very basic language when I asked about designing it and all, just chatting to it. And yeah, I think one thing I want to show you guys is how to pass data onto the webhook response, and then you can just talk with Firebase to add that data in. So what you can do, if we head back into N18 where the proposal was generated and go to this last respond to webhook, and then in the response body, make sure it's JSON. I tried with text. If you change this to text, I tried with text and it didn't seem Firebase liked when it was formatted in text, so I made sure it's JSON. And I've added the ClickUp task link here, as you can see, the submission date and the proposal name. The last thing I'm going to add is email. I'm going to name this email, colon. And then I'm going to find the email from the ClickUp task. So if we go task, it should be under custom fields. Watches, custom fields here. Name is email, value right here. Drag and drop that in here. Now this isn't proper JSON, so what I do is I add the basic information that I want in there, and then I copy this over to ChatGPT like I did before. It's a bit cheating, but it's quicker. And then can you format this into proper JSON? Let's see what it does. Perfect. Copy that over into here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take note. I'm going to take note of the header. So the header for this value for the email, the header is email. For proposal name, I've named the header proposal name, as you can see here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy over this header, and then in the prompt, to make it super clear to Firebase, what I'm going to say is, can you add an email field in the dashboard page to each proposal. I will provide the email in the webhook response, the header, which is called email. Do we want to put this directly below, or should we? I think putting the email at the bottom right here could look a bit nicer. Let's see if we can do that anyway. It might look terrible, but let's see if we can do that. I think if we add another field below here, it can start looking pretty chunky. So can you add this email field from the webhook response at the bottom right of the what do you call this, proposal card, I guess. Let's see if this works. Might not work. Let's see what happens here. I'll have to generate another proposal in order to provide that data to Firebase. Okay, so we got email here. Let's see what happens when I generate a new proposal. Let's run this. Head back over here, fill all this out. Click, proposal sent. Let's go make.com, 1 month, 2010. Let's wait a second for this to upload or generate. Let's see what happens here. Okay, cool. So that worked nicely. One thing I will say, is I don't like how this is lower than this. So what I'm going to say is, can you make the email field to be on the right side, but in line with the generated on field on the left side of the proposal card. Let's see what this does here. Fingers crossed this does what we want it to do. Let's see. That did not work. That went too high now. Can you make the... Okay, and now these have also gone to the bottom. Okay, that's completely not... So I'm going to restore this version. I want it to be like this. Still on the right side. Let's try change this from... Can you make the email field to be on the right side, but in line with the generated on field on the left side of the proposal card? This does not mean to put it at the top of the card, because the generated on field is at the bottom left of the card, And I want the email field to be on the bottom right of the card. Okay, let's see what it does here. Hopefully it figures itself out now and does what we want it to do. Just wait a second. See what it's done. And it's done the same thing and it hasn't even moved it. So I'm going to restore this version again because that's actually gone backwards and not that version, this version. Okay. Just a bit. What if we do, can you move the email field that holds the email to still be on the right side of the proposal card, but to be in line and at the same level as the generated on field in the card. I'm a bit surprised it's struggling with this actually. Maybe it's my prompting. Maybe I'm not too good at prompting. Let's see what it does here. Okay, so let's put it. Okay, that's done the right thing. But now the most recent proposal's at the bottom of the list. And I don't want that, so. Cool, that worked. But now the most recent proposal cards are at the bottom of the list. Can you make sure the most recent generated proposals are at the top of the list? Let's see if this fixes that. Hopefully now this and all of these will be reversed back up to the top. I was getting this issue when I was playing around with the design as well. Okay, so we got an issue here. Let's just go fix error. Hopefully it fixes itself. Seems the entire application crashed. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so it didn't do that. Let's copy this prompt over again and see if it fixes the issue. Okay, cool. There we go. Successfully put the most recent proposals at the top and the latest or the last ones at the bottom. One thing I've noticed is it's reformatted this date weirdly as well. Which, I mean, I guess it's okay. Let's see if it's a problem in in18. No. No. Let's ask it to. Can you reformat the generated on date to be the same as provided in the webhook response? The webhook response date does not have slashes in them. Let's see if this fixes that. And then there's just minor things like these that you may have to fix. You can imagine how you can get really in depth with this kind of stuff. There we go, it's fixed the date there. Emails in line. You could add a sent button or send button up this top right corner as well. If we go view here, let's view this. I swear it's not showing the other ones. I might just show it in here. You could add a send button up here as well. And also could add multiple pages so that this list doesn't become infinitely long. Could also provide the option to delete certain proposals if you want to. Delete them from this page. because in N18 it automatically gets added, the proposals automatically get added to the folder of your choice. So yeah, it could add some functionality there. The core of this is now complete. We've got the logo there, a functional form. Now all you'd have to do is add some smaller things. If you want some, I don't know, random functionalities that you might want for your specific business, then you can add them from here. And yeah, I think that Firebase in particular, the design, it might take a bit longer to design nice looking apps and softwares as opposed to lovable. It might take a bit more time, but I'm extremely bullish on Firebase in particular. They're built by Google. It might have been a bit rushed to release, but realistically over the next 6 months, I think that this software is going to get substantially better. So within a couple months time, I might create another video going over Firebase and how it's come along, and then connect it to another N18 automation. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's fun building this out, and yeah, see you in the next one.